Podcast you are about to listen to contains at least one of the following: strong language, disturbing topics, abusive opinions, generally things that aren't appropriate for little kids or overly sensitive people. So, if any of that stuff's going to get your nose out of joint, this is your chance to turn it off.
It's Aaron, your favorite unfiltered mess. Spitting takes so raw, they'll make your grandma stress. Is this, that, and the other? Life, politics, the whole damn scene. Whatever crosses my mind, or whatever I saw on my screen. Ooh, movies to munchies, games to the grind. Interviews flowing, this is starting to sound like a date, ain't it? Dinner, drink, sports, wait, you buying? If not, tough luck, my opinion's still flying. No script, no filter, just pure chaos bliss. I might offend your auntie or your therapist. Society's clown show, yeah, I'm ringing the bell. If it's stupid, it's sacred, well, it had to be said. What the hell? Buckle up, buttercup, the mic's getting reckless. I had to say it. Now, pass the tissues for the trigger.
Hey, everybody. So, we're going to start out as we do by saying to Iceman, Jason, Javier, Fitz, McShane, El Jefe, El Devlin, El Morte, to Billy G, to Kate, the Duchess of New Jersey, to Boomer Bob, to George Fonts for the World Blaze podcast, to Bill and Dana of Clock'em Craft Coffee, and to Lisa. Thank you guys for your continued support. It means the world to me. I want to give a special shout out to Ken Madden of Mad K Studios for being an extra supportive homie. Appreciate all of your support in all my endeavors, my friend. And, yeah, let's see. So what else we're going to do? We're going to do the traditional pre-roll or mid-roll. I don't know. I don't know podcasting terms. Let's face it. It's not like I'm a real professional podcaster. I'm just some guy who rants into a microphone once a week for the last 5.5, 6 years. Yeah. So anyway, what you need to do is you need to go out and get you some Clock'em Craft coffee. That's right. COLOCKUMCRAFT.coffee. And you will find some of the absolute finest bean juice, individually roasted to order by Bill and Dana at Clock'em Craft Coffee. And it's the insanity that makes it delicious, because you can taste Bill, his particular joie de vivre in the entire thing. But all smart-ass comments aside, seriously, some of the best bean juice you're going to get. It's totally worth every penny it costs. You'd be stupid if you're not buying it. You're going to go pay $9 for a fucking Starbucks, whatever. You should actually really take that money, bump it up a little bit, buy a couple pounds of coffee, and make your own fucking coffee. Don't be some fucking moronic simp that's overpaying for dirt water from some fucking chain made by a purple-haired land whale fucking pimply-faced shit stain that doesn't appreciate you, thinks you should be paying more for your coffee so they can get better wages for doing absolutely fucking nothing of any worth to society other than existing and being fat and retarded. I seriously, go buy some Clock'em Craft coffee. I don't know how much of an endorsement that turned into, because let's face it, that might be a little bit of an edgy thing to say, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's a case that yeah, you should be buying Clock'em Craft coffee, not shit coffee. I mean, I understand times are tough for all of us, myself included, but if you're going to be doing it anyway, you should at least be doing the smart thing. Get yourself some Clock'em Craft coffee. You can buy it pre-ground. You can buy whole bean. You can buy K-cups, which, they're a thing. People use them. I think it's fucking horribly stupid. So I'm going to go off on a tangent here. You should really not be using K-cups or Keurig coffee pots in general, or any single-serve, single-use brewing pods. They're horrible for the environment for the most part. There are some organically friendly or, earth-friendly ones out there that, decompose easier and all this other shit. But at the end of the day, it's extremely wasteful. You're not getting the most bang for your buck in terms of, like, buying those K-cups is prohibitively expensive. You can buy the reusable ones and refill them. That's what we used to do. We used to have a Keurig. It's not like I'm speaking on this from just some lofty, holier-than-thou, hipster horse shit attitude. Like, well, I only use a French press, and I hand grind my beans with a mortar and pestle to exactly the right consistency to make my French press coffee in the morning, because I'm better than you, because you use those bourgeois coffee makers that make a single cup at a time instead of grinding them by hand from the Andes and doing these things. Because, let's be honest, I hate fucking people like that. And if you've been listening to the show for more than 3 seconds, you're well aware that I hate fucking people like that. So But in all honesty, the reason I don't think you should be using a K-cup or any single brew coffee pot is because how often do you clean the fucking thing? I mean, I understand everybody's like, oh, I run a descaling cycle every so often because otherwise the guts are going to fill up and then it won't brew properly and I won't get my bean juice and I won't be able to, I'll be just a horrible, miserable prick, much like yourself first thing in the morning. Because if I don't get a cup of coffee, I might sound like you. And I don't want to be an asshole like that. I want to be my own particular caffeinated flavor of asshole. But at the end of the day, just descaling those fucking things still doesn't change the fact that you have a closed system that you can't really properly clean, and all kinds of nasty shit can grow in there. And people are going to say, oh, well, that's not the case. It's a closed system. There's no contaminants in there if you handle it properly. And you know what? Think what you want. I've seen one of those things broken open. I've seen what the guts look like after running a couple hundred cycles. I make my coffee the old-fashioned way with a real pot. Oh, wow, that was a completely unintended tangent, which you guys usually seem to enjoy. But at the end of the day, that's the thing. It is what it is. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna start off talking. There's a few things I'm trying to find where I saw it. I cannot find it. This is driving me nuts. Anyway, something that did happen today that's got me thinking, and as I usually tend to do, noticing things, and it's a case of we really. The thing about it is, I told you so doesn't begin to cover what's going to go here. It's a case of Zoran Mandami, right? The fucking commie Muslim shit stain that was elected as the mayor of New York City, who's been mayor less than a year. This worthless fuckwaffle is doing pretty much exactly what, it's kind of what he campaigned on, but the fucking retard morons who support this fucking asshole are, obviously they're lining up and bleeding and clapping because they're extremely jealous of all the people who have more than they do without actually having enough jealousy to get off their lazy, entitled fucking asses and do something to get said things. Well, this commie shit stain has unveiled a plan that he's going to $22 billion housing plan to build 400,000 units for people in New York. And basically he wants to build rent stabilized homes, and it's over the next 10 years, $22 billion in capital investments, $5.6 billion for repairs, zoning reforms, moving houses near transit, streamlining approval. So basically, the only good things coming out of this is they're basically admitting that government interference makes everything take longer and cost more. The only redeeming quality to anything else is shit stain saying. Everything else is, we're going to make shitty people have housing because they think it's a right, and we're going to subsidize it with your tax dollars. And they're planning on doing things like using liens to seize chronically neglected, there's really heavy air quotes for the audio people around this fucking phrase, chronically neglected properties that they will be seized from the rightful owners and taken into the trust of the state or the city to be converted into affordable housing. Now, what that really doesn't say is they're planning on stealing from the legitimate owners who have been hamstrung by these policies that are put in place by the fucking government when it comes to maintaining their buildings, and they're being taxed into the point where it's non-profitable to do so. So now this commie piece of shit is going to start seizing people's property if he deems them negligent in maintaining their property. And it's a case of transferring ownership from the landlords to the community. It's literally fucking theft. The fucking retards in New York that voted for this shit stain are, yay, he did good. We get health now. And it's infuriating to me, the degree of stupidity out of these fucking people. And then he's also proposing another aspect of this plan to start seizing property from fucking negligent owners in New York to start seizing high-end properties, like apartments that are bought by people in New York, like $1 million plus units that they've opted to move the fuck out of because life in New York has become unaffordable. So he's decided, since they've decided to not declare residency there and to take their money away so he can't seize it through taxes, he's actually going to seize their physical property instead and start, taking from those greedy bastards who paid for things and giving it to the proletariat, and they're just utterly fucking retarded shit. And it's just, it's infuriating to me, especially the brain dead, lazy cockstains who are out there applauding for this shit. And no, Kate, I'm not going to make the noise. Yes, they're clapping like seals for a fish because they're fucking lazy, they're fucking retarded, and they're fucking entitled. I can't stand a single goddamn one of them. Every last one of them sucks. I hate them all. I hope bad things happen to them. I hope they get, raped by a duck because they have a barbed penis, and I hope it hurts. It's just, it's infuriating me that these utterly retarded sons of bitches seem to think this is like the way. This is the right thing to do. This is, anyway, yeah, so that was kind of the one thing that really kind of jumped out to me. A couple other things that have come up. Wasn't sure there was going to be a live stream today. Thought I might have to go back to the old-fashioned way of just recording myself yelling into the mic and then uploading through like my phone as a hotspot, because our internet's been utterly retarded for the last couple of weeks, really. Repeated intermittent service outages have been a problem for us. The cable company, oh, hey, by the way, we know you're having problems. We're trying to get it fixed. We're not going to cut you a break on your bill or anything, because that would be silly. Just because you're not getting a service doesn't mean you shouldn't have to keep paying through the fucking nose for it. Neener, these fucking clowns. It's infuriating to me. Corporate America, well, still better by leaps and bounds than most of the systems in this world, is still infuriating in a lot of ways, because we built corporatism into our fucking government where they are shielded from their absolutely shite practices, and it's just fucking infuriating. Government that's supposed to be of, for, and by the people is of, for, and by the dollars and the donors, and it drives me fucking nuts. I hate them all. As I spend more and more time in the world doing things, they're just, the old bitterness is coming back up in spades, and I'm older, I'm better equipped to deal with it now, and I'm still fucking angry. So it's a case of, what can you do? It's a thing. It happens. I don't know. I don't know how to put it. But anyway, so yes, with live streams going, my keyboard shitted out yesterday. Yesterday was a fun day. Yesterday was expensive. I hope everyone had a lovely Memorial Day. That's something else I want to talk about. And my stream of consciousness ranting will get me there eventually, I guess. But Memorial Day is a thing, and it's a case of, I didn't serve. I don't have any claim to have an opinion on this other than to say, it's to acknowledge and respect those who gave up their lives in the service of this country. I will always respect those people. I will always respect the people who signed on the dotted line when I fucking didn't, because I couldn't get around my own fucking ego and my own fucking arrogance to consider doing that at the time. And since we were in a peacetime situation in this country, the recruiters weren't real inclined to put up with my bullshit. So I never enlisted. That's just, them's the facts, They didn't need me that badly, and I didn't want to deal with it. I couldn't get out of my own way, but I do respect the people who actually, put on the uniform and did the thing, and so it kind of drives me nuts when I see a bunch of people who didn't serve, who don't have any fucking skin in the game, who don't have any room to fucking talk, trying to lecture people about how they want to observe Memorial Day. And I'm saying that without the slightest hint of irony, as I begin to do so myself. But I'm not going to talk to people about how they should observe Memorial Day. I'm going to talk to all the fucking self-righteous, sanctimonious cunts who want to try and say things like, oh, well, particularly in the case of, you get the people who are like, you can't wish veterans a happy Memorial Day because it's for remembering the dead, not celebrating the people that are still here. And no, you're right. It's not about acknowledging. It's about remembrance and honoring the departed. That doesn't mean you can't wish the people that are still here a happy day. You can, it doesn't have to be Veterans Day. You can tell anybody, have a good day, happy whatever day. And I think the premise that you can't enjoy the day because you're supposed to be, and I've been noticing this out of a certain subset of people a lot. You can't enjoy the day because it's supposed to be a somber occasion and blah blah blah. I don't see it that way. I never have. It's about honoring and remembrance. And based on a lot of veterans I know, a lot of veterans I follow on social media, a lot of people I talk to in person, a lot of friends I have, a lot of guys who were there and, saw some hairy shit, lost homies and had friends die within arm's reach of them in a couple cases. And they say the best way to honor the departed is to live a life worth their sacrifice. Go out there, do good things, be good, enjoy your life, do all the things that they can't, and remember them. And it's one of those things. I don't remember the context of the quote because it's been a very long couple of days, and I got too much sun yesterday, which I don't know if you can tell from the live stream. I don't know how well the camera's picking up, but I am about a cherry tomato right now. So anyway, but yeah, it's a context of, you live your life in a life that's worthy of the people who sacrifice so you could fucking have it. And I totally agree with that. Now, I say all that to say this. Memorial Day being a Monday, yeah, that's a good excuse. A lot of people get the day off of work. A lot of people get to go out and do things. Go out, day drink, barbecue, go to the beach, go out on the river, go on the boat. Do whatever you're going to do to go out and have a good fucking time. But you need to consider the fact that, a lot of motherfuckers got to go to work on Tuesday fucking morning. So maybe a little consideration would not necessarily be a fucking bad thing. So if you're one of these fucking mouth-breathing, inbred jack-offs who think every time there's a day where you don't have to go to work, it's time to go outside and blow some shit up, fuck you. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy fireworks as much as the next guy. I like blowing shit up myself. I've blown up some pretty creative shit over the years. I've blown up shit in creative fucking ways. I've blown up shit using shit that you wouldn't think to use to blow shit up. I like blowing shit up. That's what I'm saying. Howsoever, I do it carefully and I do it considerately. I don't do it at fucking 11 o'clock at night on a fucking Monday night, knowing my goddamn neighbor might have to get up at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. That's just fucking rude. So if you're out getting all pissed up and day drunk and you think it's a good idea to blow some shit up, knowing goddamn full well that your neighborhood is full of people that have to get up at, say before the crack of fucking dawn to go to work, maybe don't blow the shit up. Maybe, keep it on the weekend. Maybe be considerate. Blow shit up when it's fucking appropriate. Maybe blow some shit up on a fucking Saturday. Maybe blow shit up on the 4th of July. Maybe Christmas. Maybe New Year's Eve. I'm not saying don't blow shit up. Sometimes shit needs to be blown up. But don't be a fucking asshole about it. Don't sit there and go, well, I want to see shit blow up even though it's a Monday goddamn night at 11 o'clock on a Monday. I'm going to blow me some shit up. You're a piece of shit. I hope you lose a fucking thumb in the process. My tolerance for that kind of shit is getting so frayed the older I get. I'm not saying don't have fun. I don't want to be the Grinch that stole the good time. I want you to be a little bit considerate. That's it. Not a lot, just a fucking little bit. A little bit of forethought to go, you know what? Maybe the guy next door has to get up at fucking 4:30 to go fucking to work tomorrow. I know it's a day off. It's not a fucking week off. Maybe I should pull my head out of my fucking ass for 3 seconds and go, maybe I shouldn't light the wick on this one. Or maybe I should have lit the wick on fucking Sunday since Monday was the day off. Mouth-breathing jag-offs. It absolutely just fucking infuriates me, the utter lack of consideration so many people have in this country. And I catch shit for that from people. Oh, well, when you were young, motherfucker, you're not young. You're older than me. You're drunk and you're retarded. Well, we're celebrating. No, motherfucker, you're being inconsiderate. Celebrate, in a manner that's not going to fucks with the most people possible. That sounds really fucking classy, really couth. Like I said, this might be a me thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm crabby because I didn't have my morning energy drink today. Maybe I'm crabby because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because some fucking drunk asshole redneck meth tweaker piece of shit was blowing shit up until fucking midnight. I don't know. It could be it could just be a me thing. I don't know. It's Aaron's problems, I guess. But you're here. You're listening to me. You're going to catch some of that. Let's see. Now, I'm going to just bring something to the table here, and the two people that are in the chat right now that let's see, it's the Gray's Tap Room podcast. Mike and Tabby, fabulous people, love them to death. They are my homies that if they lived closer, we'd be hanging out every fucking weekend. So it's the good Lord probably put distance between us so we wouldn't get into too much fucking trouble. But they're in the chat. And then the lovely Mrs. Aaron is also in the chat. So thank you guys for being here. As near as I can tell from the streaming software, you two are the only two in there. So anyway, yeah, so there's that. Now for anybody, if you want to hear, if you're listening to the audio version of this and you want to see what I'm talking about, go to the YouTubes, check out the video stream, scroll to, let's see, what are we at? 26 minutes, give or take. You can look in the background. Oops, wrong camera. Right about there. You see a collector's edition bottle of Tears of the Left bourbon. Now, I love a good bourbon. I had somebody tell me that this was actually a pretty good bourbon at a pretty reasonable price. So I decided to go out and get a bottle. I got the edition that it comes with the Cards Against Sanity, which is, it's a Tears of the Left version of Cards Against Humanity. Since Cards Against Humanity went pretty fucking woke at one point. I mean, considering some of the shit that's in those boxes, I don't understand how they could be so fucking leaning that way. But at the same point, anyway, it's just a version. There were a couple options when I went to the website because, like I said, somebody told me it was a good bourbon. I was looking for something different to add to the collection. It made me giggle. And they have different versions with different tier collectors, which would be assorted conservative influencers. Not that I particularly give a shit about that. They got one for like DC Drano. They got Rob Schneider invented the bourbon, or not invented, but branded it. You know, yada yada yada. It's his line. There's a Kevin Sorbo bottle. I'm not sure who the other ones are. They're turning out a set number of tier collectors. They're calling them, and each tier collector bottle, they have a collector's edition for each collector that comes with a different whiskey stone, like, you know, something you chill down and you put in your whiskey to keep it cold without diluting it. Now, I happen to like a little bit of water in my whiskey, so I don't have a problem putting it over ice, but that's neither here nor there. Some whiskeys don't need to be diluted. A couple drops of water open up the bouquet on them, but without going too deeply into that, I decided I was going to get me a bottle of Tears of the Left because, like I said, somebody whose opinion on bourbon I trust told me I needed to try it. For the price point, it was actually pretty good. Now, I say all that to say this. I'm pretty sure I haven't actually ever told my Rob Schneider story on the podcast. And if either of the two in the chat, I know Shauna's heard it, but I don't know if Mike or Tabby or whoever is running the account at the moment. If I've ever told the Rob Schneider story, tell me to stop now so I don't tell it again. But I don't think I ever have. So the fact that I bought Rob Schneider's bourbon, to me personally, feels like a growth moment. It feels like a development moment. So I'm going to take a minute out of my day and tell the story about that. Now, I haven't opened the bourbon yet. I literally just showed up today. I haven't cracked it open. I haven't had a glass of it yet. I don't know if it's any good or not. The box is the collector's edition part, as I understand it. The bourbon's just the bourbon. The bourbon bottle itself is not numbered, but the box is numbered. So maybe it's anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'll order another bottle just so I can have one to drink and just leave that as a display piece in the background. Not that I'm necessarily, you know, like as everybody knows at this point, I think, you know, left wing, right wing, same fucking bird. It's not really a thing that to me that makes a huge fucking difference. It's a thing that that's all it is. It is what it is, what it is. I'm not overly concerned about it, but, yeah, so it's there. It's sitting there. I might crack it open on the next guest interview I do. Maybe, I don't know. I really haven't actually been drinking much lately, but again, I digress. So the point is, Rob Schneider's story and my personal growth and development in this timeline is for years. And I mean, like a couple of decades, honestly, I fucking hated Rob Schneider. I held a grudge with him. I had a celebrity beef with a celebrity who probably forgot I existed 30 seconds after the fucking thing happened. And as part of my growth and development into a mature adult who could get past things, I realized I was 110% in the fucking wrong in this situation. I carried a grudge against a guy that I had no business carrying a grudge against because I was out of line in my fucking behavior as a stupid fucking kid. And, yeah, his reaction, his behavior was entirely acceptable for the circumstances at hand. But so for years and years, I held a grudge. I was like, fuck Rob Schneider. I don't like his movies. I don't think he's funny. He's a piece of shit that rides Adam Sandler's coattails. Blah, 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 blah. All because I had this personal stupid hang up about fucking Rob Schneider because he said he was going to kick my ass. So I took that fucking personally for a couple decades. It was fucking stupid and juvenile. And like I said, in hindsight, he would have been right to kick my ass. It was not out of line for him to tell me he was going to kick my ass. I probably had an ass kicking coming. So I'm going to tell you guys the story of why Rob Schneider wants to kick my ass, or wanted to kick my ass. I'm sure he wouldn't want to do it now. I'm sure he's, I mean, I could be completely wrong. He could be a little hot-headed bastard for all I know. Them small fellas are, closer to hell, so that they're angrier. That's how it works, isn't it? The shorter you are, the closer you are to hell, the more angry you get. But anyway, I digress. So we'll set the time frame here for you. We're talking like 1994, right? Rob Schneider's on Saturday Night Live. Not a huge career going yet. He's still the copy guy and all this other shit. Doing stand up, doing the tours, going around the country doing stand up. Little 15-year-old Aaron and a couple of his buddies get some concert tickets at Summerfest in Milwaukee. Now, if you're unaware of what Summerfest in Milwaukee is, it's like one of the biggest music festivals in the country. It has been since the 90s. Don't know how it is these days. Haven't been there in years. But at the time, it was a big deal, great thing. Huge shows came through there all the time. Big artists. I've seen so many bands there, so many different artists at different tiers, different stages in their careers. I used to go to a lot of concerts when I was a kid. Started when I was like 14, 15, and just went pretty much until I moved to Illinois. I went to multiple concerts every year. Things changed once I got to Illinois, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. So to set the timeline on this one, I'm at Summerfest with a bunch of my friends. It's hot as fucking balls out. It's hotter than Satan's taint. So we decide, well, we're underage. We can't hang out in the beer gardens or any of the beer tents, which is one of the things about Summerfest. There's multiple beer sponsored stages at different points around the fairgrounds. And like there's the Liney Lodge sponsored by Leinenkugel's. There's the Miller Lite stage. There's the Coors Light stage. There's the Budweiser stage or the Anheuser-Busch stage. There's an auditorium. There's a fucking, whatchamacallit when it's outside, amphitheater there. And so this particular year was the year the Black Album came out by Metallica. So my friends and I, being little headbanger motherfuckers, we wanted to go see Metallica at Summerfest that year. And we got tickets. We got pretty good tickets. We were like, first row of the upper deck bleachers, or not upper deck, but the upper section of bleachers before you were in the lawn seats. And, those were pretty good seats. You could see a pretty good view of the stage. You could see all the monitors. You didn't have to deal with the lawn seats and all the drunk assholes that were going to fall all over you. So it was a pretty good spot. We were center section. We had good tickets. Thing is, we got a ride up there with my friend's parents because none of us could drive because, I think I was actually the oldest one out of the group and I was 15. So we got up there and we got dropped off. Well, not dropped off. They were there too, but they were doing parent things and going around the festivals. And it was the 90s, so teenagers were allowed to wander off because we weren't going to go out and start teen takeovers and light shit on fire and jump on top of cars. We were going to go mind our fucking business and try and stay cool because, again, hotter than Satan's fucking taint this particular day. And so in our effort to find someplace cool, we worked our way into the Comedy Sports tent. Now, Comedy Sports, for people who may be unaware, is a comedy troupe thing where they do kind of like Whose Line Is It Anyway? They're given themes, or people throw out ideas, and then they do improv to them. It's an improv troupe. Well, the Comedy Sports, they would cycle through a Comedy Sports troupe event, and then like a stand-up comedian would come in, and then a Comedy Sports event, and then like another local comedian or somebody trying to get a break in the business or somebody just starting out. And they did this rotation every, half hour, 45 minutes, whatever. The Comedy Sports would go for about a half hour. And then, somebody would come in and do a bit and then there'd be a break and then they'd do it again. And so my friends and I decided we're going to go hang out in the Comedy Sports tent because there's a fucking tent. There's fans. We can get bottles of water. And we can be entertained for the fucking course of the day. Now, we sat down there at like 10:30 in the fucking morning, right after the festival opened. And we sat in the comedy tent literally all goddamn day. We got really good seats so we could be really close to the stage so we could watch the comedy tents. And the Comedy Sports people eventually realized, like, hey, these fucking kids aren't going anywhere. So they started getting us involved. And that was fun. We got to do improv with the Comedy Sports people. And, we were yelling out jokes during the shows and during the sets. And we were having fun and being stupid kids. And then, we get to the headliner of the show, ladies and gentlemen, Rob Schneider. And he comes out and he starts doing his bit. And we're all, again, sitting like 2 tables back from the front row, because they had big round tables set up all around the fairground, or all around inside the tent. And so we're sitting there, and he starts doing his shtick, and he's doing his set, and all of a sudden we hear from the amphitheater, which is literally right next to the Comedy Sports tent. That was the other deciding factor as to why we decided to hang out there all day. It was the closest thing to the amphitheater, so we could go to the Metallica show. So we hear him start doing sound check, and we're like, all right, fuck, we got to go. We're going to miss the concert that we paid really expensive money for these tickets. We got to go. So we get up and we start walking out of the tent to go see Metallica. That's why we were there. That's why we sat here all day. Not a damn one of us in our stupid ass 15-year-old brains said, hey, you're sitting right in the front during this stand-up set and you're getting up and walking the fuck out. This is why I say I deserved what came out of his mouth. This is why I say when he said, hey kid, I'll kick your fucking ass, I had that coming. He was not fucking wrong. Because we were assholes for getting up and walking out in the middle of a set because we heard sound check starting. If we were going to do that, we should. If we had a fucking iota of common sense, but we didn't because we were 15 and fucking retarded, we would have sat back by the entrance to the tent, not right in front of the fucking stage like a bunch of assholes. So we were in the wrong. My friends who were there with me, not that I don't think any of you guys actually listen to my show, but if you do, we fucked up. We were dicks for that. So anyway, so we get up and we start to go walk out because I got to go Metallica. Rob Schneider on stage, when 4 assholes sitting in the front row of his show just get up and start walking out. It's like, starts mocking us. Rightly so. It's like, oh, dude, bro, gotta go see the show. Gotta go see Metallica. Fucking A. Fucking rock. And me being a mouthy fucking teenager decided to turn around and talk some shit back because, you don't get to talk shit to me without fucking consequences. So I turned around and I looked at Rob on the stage and I said, well, dude, it's not that. It's just these jokes were funnier when I saw him on the Comedy Channel last month and the other guy's timing was better. And, I was just an asshole. I don't know what else to say. It was completely out of line. And honestly, I don't think he actually stole any of the jokes. I think I was just being a dick, and I knew that pissed comedians off, so I figured why not fling the accusation? Because even back then, I knew how to go for a fucking sore spot. And he's like, dude, what, kid? I'll kick your fucking ass. Now, that's not, he was an adult. I'm a child, whatever. Here's where things get weird. It's like, in my brain, and this is factual, even at the time at 15, I was bigger than him. Now, granted, he was in his 20s, and I'm sure if it would have come down to it, he probably would have whooped my ass, even though I was significantly larger than him, just because he was older and more, mature physically. And, probably been in a scrap or two at that point in his life. So I probably would have gotten the ass whooping I had coming. However, my friends immediately proceed to start grabbing me because they don't want to get kicked out of the festival and lose our fucking tickets that we all, worked and saved for and paid, because I think we all bought our own tickets. But, so I'm sitting there, my friends are trying to drag me out of the fucking tent. Security materializes like fucking magic around the front of the stage because this stupid fucking kid's starting to walk towards the headliner like, motherfucker, what'd you say to me? And my friends dragged me out of there, and he kind of talked shit as we were leaving the tent. And that was it. That was the end of the interaction. I'm sure it never crossed his mind again. But it like ate at me for some reason for fucking years. I don't know why I couldn't let it go. I was just like, yeah, fuck that guy. He's not funny. Fuck him. He sucks. He's got one bit. He's got one thing. And, I didn't, it was petty. It was childish. It was wrong of me. At the end of the day, I actually really, once I got over it, and it took me way longer than it should have to get over it, where I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and actually check out some of these movies. And you know what? He's actually kind of fucking funny. I enjoyed Hot Chick. I'm not going to lie. A lot of hokey jokes in there, but a lot of his little bit parts and shtick shows up, and it makes me giggle. The fucking little, you can do it! That guy makes me laugh. I mean, yeah, all his little bit parts in the Sandler movies. And I realize, looking at things back from a more mature adult position, like Adam Sandler's, this motherfucker figured it out. He got it dialed in. He got successful, and he got to the point where he can do shit that makes him happy. He can justify flying to places to shoot movies, and he brings all his fucking friends with him. And he gives them little bit parts in his movie to justify them being there, and he gets to pay them for coming out and having a good time. And It's living the fucking dream. So I had to grow up and mature a little bit and realize Rob Schneider was right. I was wrong. Not that Rob will ever hear this or give a nickel-plated fuck about it, but I owe you an apology. I'm sorry, Rob. I was a douche. I really. You would have been well justified to whip my teenage ass. I had it coming. But yeah, so once I got over that shit, which, like I said, took me longer than it should have. I hold a grudge. I held on to that and let it fuel my anger probably into my late 20s. And it was just like, people would be like, why do you hate Rob Schneider? He knows what he did. Just stupid, angsty, dumb shit. And again, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure it was never a second thought to him. He was probably just like, man, that fucking kid was, what a piece of shit. And then went on and finished his set. I don't know how the set went. Obviously, I went to go see Metallica. It was a pretty bitching concert. It was Metallica, Danzig, and Suicidal Tendencies was the opening act. And I bought a Suicidal Tendencies headband, like bandana, at the show. It was badass. And then one of my brother's friends fucking stole it. A lot of the cooler shit I had when I was a teenager got lifted by my brother's fucking friends. And I know I've been told by multiple people I shouldn't allow myself to get distracted by the chat, but Bob's here. So, hey, Bob, welcome to the show. He says he's with Rob now. He says very cool, and he accepts my apology. So that's phenomenal. Tell him I said thank you, and I'm looking forward to trying his bourbon. But yeah. So anyway, and that was, like I said, it turned out to be a good night. But I burdened myself with an unfounded irritation for years that it was not necessarily anything resembling sane, rational, or a well thought out thing to have running through my brain. It was just the reality of it. Let's see. Bob says, I've still never figured out how I'll laugh tomorrow when I can't even smile today. Oh, I'm sorry, Bob. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of really all the talky I have right now. I don't really, I don't know. I mean, like I said, usually when I come in with something loaded, it's a lot easier for me to just say, I'm going to ignore the chat and just go. And like I said, I've been told by multiple people that my show is better when I don't let you fuckers distract me. Now I'm actually talking to the chat. This is not stream of consciousness. This is me doing exactly what I was told I should probably try and stay away from. Being told by people who do it better than me that I should avoid that shit because when I'm at my best, when I'm at my purest, is when I'm just fucking going. And the thing is, I've been arguably their best song. You're not wrong. That's yeah. So it's not the chat. It's Bob. Yeah. Actually, no. The whole conversation is with Bob right now because the rest of the chat is Mike and Tabby and my wife. And my wife, like I said, she's heard all my bullshit before. I feel like most of the listeners have actually heard most of my bullshit as well at this point. Or actually, it still says two. So I guess it's Bob and Shauna now, and Mike and Tabby done buggered off. That's true. Jimingo got to where he is by paying attention to the chat. Maybe that's why he tells me to stop doing it. But he's not the only one that said that either. So I'm actually inclined to think, for whatever reason, yeah, if I don't have a co-host or a guest on or whatever, I probably am at my purest when I'm just fucking letting loose. But to be completely honest, and this kind of goes back into what I've been saying for a while, I'm fucking tired. It's hard for me to get worked up into a proper frothing rage when I got nothing left in the tank. I got way too much sun yesterday, and I probably cooked my brain a little bit more than I should have. I should have put a fucking hat on, but I didn't. And we've got things going. How's the spices coming along? We are waiting on 2 more ingredients, and then, I mean, realistically, I could actually start firing everything, and I got to get the logo finalized so I can get the website up. And pretty much we're ready to rock and roll. I got fucking $1,100 worth of shit in the back of my car waiting to be processed into blends so I can start shipping stuff out and start selling stuff. And so that's actually I was looking at a piece of equipment I was thinking about buying over the weekend. Just a like 10-pound spice mill that I found online for like $300. It would change the way certain things would be processed. And Bill and I have discussed this a couple of times about doing a collaboration spice with Clockham Craft Coffee and myself, which I am looking forward to doing. But because I've already got something kind of roughed out with a steak seasoning that uses coffee. I need Bill and Dana to confer about it or whatever and tell me which coffee they want me to use to highlight for the collaboration, because the roast and the flavor profile of the coffee will impact how I have to adjust the seasonings to get the flavor I'm looking for. Yeah, so that's something I'm excited about. I'm looking forward to doing that. But because I was thinking about that, it's yes, blended. That's a good point. Processed carries a stigma. You're not incorrect. They need to be blended, mixed, and then packaged and distributed. That is the process behind it. But, you're right. Process does have a stigma and negative connotations in most people's minds, despite the fact that it's a perfectly accurate word to describe what is going on. It is a process to make these things. But you are correct. Blended is a much better phrasing. So, yes, the spices are almost ready to be blended. It's a case of, I did all the conversions on all the recipes to turn them from volume to weight so I could make sure they're accurately blended to reflect the proper ratios on everything so it will be consistent. Plus, that allowed me to evaluate all the nutritional information that I have to put onto the labels to be compliant with the FDA or the USDA or FDA. Yeah, Food and Drug Administration. The requirements are actually surprisingly simple. You have to list certain ingredients in the order they are contained in the blend, but after a certain, I think it's 13 or 14 ingredients that you have to list by name in the ingredient, and part of it's for allergen reasons, part of it's just honestly I don't understand why, but obviously you have to, if there's sugar in the recipe, you have to say there's sugar in it, and you can't not list that on the ingredients unless it's under, I think it's 0.5 grams per serving, then you can consider it sugar-free. But anyway, the only one that's going to have sugar in it is the barbecue rub, and there will be a sugar-free version of that coming out once I find a good source for a brown sugar alternative barbecue, or a brown sugar like Swerve. Like they make a brown sugar Swerve that is actually phenomenal. I just can't buy it in bulk, so the sugar-free version has kind of stalled out while I'm trying to source that particular product. I did actually reach out to the makers of Swerve to see about buying it in bulk, but I haven't heard back from them yet. So, so we're definitely coming down to end game time. I mean, I originally, when I said it was going to launch in August, I thought that was being like, wow, that's giving myself a huge extra window. But seeing as we're almost in June, I can say spices. The thing is, it's not a no trade secrets thing. It's a case of, like I said, certain ingredients have to be listed by name. You have to list garlic. You have to list salt. You have to list garlic, salt, onion. I can't think of them up. This is why I downloaded the PDF from the state or from the government to figure it out. But after that, then you can just say spices. Like if you look at any major spice blend on the market right now, after you get the big ones, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, sugar, then you can just say spices on the list, and you don't have to tell the ratios. That's the other thing. That's where a lot of the uniqueness, because I mean, there's only so many spices in the world, and it's how you blend them that gets you the differences in flavor. And like some of them you don't have to list, but like I figured out over the years by being able to pick them out and tell, hints of this, bits of that. I'm really looking forward to getting it's not an Aaron thing. It's an FDA USDA thing. It's not even an industry standard. It's a governmental standard for the proper labeling for the spices, so I don't get thrown in jail or sued or have my business taken away from me. So yeah. But yeah, so once I get the finalized logos, I can get the website up. Once I get the website up, I can basically start rocking and rolling. I got the packaging. I just need to get the labels printed. And I got to be honest, I'm not looking forward to labeling all these fucking packages because that's going to be such a bitch. Because I did not think about this when I was setting up the Kickstarter, but they actually make a thing that puts labels on bags. Yes, Sean. It's about that. Some of the stuff listed is due to allergies. People are allergic to garlic, onions, nightshades, things like that. But anyway, like I was saying, they make a bag labeler specifically for putting labels on Mylar bags. It's like $1,700 fucking dollars though for the small one. For the big one's like $3,000. And so obviously I didn't build that into the Kickstarter since, went past my original goal of I needed $2,000. So I said 2,500 to cover the taxes. And I've pretty much been proving myself wrong on that because I've already, like I said, I bought $1,200 worth of spices plus packing materials plus pieces of equipment. I had to buy, toner for the printer, which was figured into the Kickstarter, so I could print out the labels and the invoices and the cards that are going to go with the packages to tell people how to use the spices. I have to write up all the copy for all the spices. There's still a lot to be done, but we're in good shape in terms of timeline stuff. I just got to get out there and do the damn thing. So we will be doing that, and there's going to be a lot of math involved in these first batches. If you go to Ember Forge Spices on Facebook, you can see a picture. I think it's on the Instagram account too, of the back of my truck with all of the ingredients that I have and in it, along with the food containers that I'm going to be mixing the batches into to store them. Once they're mixed. So one container is going to say general purpose rub, one's going to say barbecue, one's going to say seafood, one's going to say poultry, and it's going to be awesome. So I'm looking forward to it. I actually need to go get another bucket because I did I went a little outside of silly and also got the stuff to make the steak rub. So that's going to be a thing. So I'm just kind of waiting to see if Bill and Dana want to start do the collaboration steak rub, or if I'm going to start with my basic steak rub and then do the collaboration later. Let's see. You got one of those mail label printers off of Amazon for $99. Yeah, no. Actually, we do have a label printer for doing mailing labels and stuff as well. It's Shauna's for her barenakedhandcraftedcandles.com to find the finest hand poured soy candles and wax melts. Yeah, we do have a label printer already. She also uses it to print the labels for her candles and other stuff, but. Yeah, no, those things are great. They're cool. They come in really handy. But like I said, it's for the cards. I got the toner cartridges for the laser printer for the card stock to do the ingredient cards that go along with the thing. Like a Bojangles French fry seasoning or Red Robin. Yes, I 100% completely agree. And I'm going to go off on a tear here for a few minutes since you brought it up. MSG has a really bad rap, and it was developed. This bad rap was a slur campaign. It was literally, there was all this bullshit that goes along with, oh, well, MSG is bad for you. MSG, no, it's fucking not. It's only bad for you when you use it excessively, just like regular fucking table salt is. It's a case of, if you use it properly, it enhances your meal and your dining experience. It activates, different receptors in your fucking mouth to make the food taste fucking better. That's what it does. Bob says, I use Flavocool on fries sometimes. Local fast food joint here called Jack's uses it too. Yeah, no, that's not bad. Actually, I really shouldn't be probably doing this because I could not tell people this and then they could have to buy my blends. But you can still buy MSG like at the store. It's called Accent. It's literally just a container of MSG that they changed the name on it because MSG got a bad fucking rap. Again, mostly due to a fucking slur campaign because it was making food too delicious with too minimal stuff. And it was like the secret ingredient in so many goddamn seasoning bits that are out there that oh no, people can't be using this at home. Then they won't buy our fucking overpriced seasoning shit. So yeah, I'm actually probably going to put MSG in one of the spice blends down the line. And I'm going to come up with a name that's going to yeah, you know what? This is good for you. I don't care how you feel about it. Maybe I'll call it the collab spice seasoning blend to collab with this podcast. I don't know. I mean, can I collab with myself? I suppose that's really kind of a question for the ages. I mean, there was the whole point of not tying the show into the spice blend was to, make it more palatable to the non-listeners. And I still believe that's probably a good idea because, leftist money spends just the same as anybody else's, even though it's probably my money they got through some sort of fucking subsidy. But anyway, that's not the point. I want everybody's pennies. So, yes, that'll be good. So we are going to do, it's like I'd ask you guys, but I'm sure you probably don't remember either. I've gotten to the point where I really can't remember which recipes I've done. I need to keep a fucking list of which ones I've done and which ones I haven't for the show. But I know I did that one. Oh yeah. By the way, Bob, you don't have to say you're gay like that for ordering wax melts. Shauna's got some really good scents that are definitely more masculinist. She's my personal favorite is there's one that's library. It smells like old books, and then you blend that with some whiskey, and it smells like nostalgia to me. Do I think the new Fed guy is going to do shit? No, I don't. I think the fact that Jerome Powell is refusing to fucking leave is a joke. There's no processes in place for him to fucking be removed from office. I think they fucking need to stuff him into a fucking cannon and launch him into the goddamn sun because he's an utterly useless sack of cunt and he won't give up. Hey, Cody, welcome to the chat. I'm not starting over. Appreciate you hopping in, brother. It's good to see you here. Always glad to have you with us, my friend. But honestly, I couldn't start over if you paid me because I don't remember what the fuck I talked about already. This very real problem of being me is I don't remember shit. So, it all just kind of blurs together. You missed it. I was talking about I got a bottle of Tears of the Left bourbon there, as you can see. I think I'm raising the right hand for this. Yep, there it is. Tears of the Left. It's a limited edition with the Cards Against Sanity in there. Yeah, so that's neat. It's over there by the lightsaber. I was going to turn the lightsaber on while I was recording, but I don't know how to turn the noise off on it. It sits there going, ooh. So it's, thank you for the very succinct summary of what's going on there, Shauna. Yes, I was mad about the neighborhood blowing shit up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get any sleep. It made me fucking grouchy. And then I told my Rob Schneider story, and then we talked about the spice line for a little bit. And then I plugged Shauna's Candle Company, and Bob said he's going to buy wax melts because apparently he thinks that is emasculating or something. But I say he should buy the wax melts because there's nothing gay about wanting your house to smell good. I mean, I personally, I don't, anybody that says they'd rather sit around smelling like fucking booty funk and ball sweat is fucking retarded. There's nothing wrong with wanting your environment to be pleasant. So that's right. So for anyone listening to the show, you can go to barenakedhandcraftedcandles.com and find some lovely scents of wax melts, candles, hand poured soy wax. They are clean burning. They are, it's good shit. I mean, my house smells lovely all the time because my wife doesn't want it smelling like some fucking stanky ass dude house. So she even came up with scent blends that are fantastic and very masculine. We've got old books, we've got leather, we've got cigars, we've got tobacco, we've got all kinds of blends that are just wonderful. Me personally, I like the warmer stuff. I like the vanilla ones. They're great. We do have some custom collaboration candles on the website that Shauna worked together with Mike and Tabby of Grace Taproom to come out with collaborative candles with them. But anyway, so I suppose we should do something fun here. So today we are going to, I'm going to give you guys my recipe for Mojito Cream Sauce. It's, as you can tell from the name, it's a cream sauce based upon the Mojito cocktail. It's pretty simple. It's pretty basic to make. It goes great on chicken. Goes nice with if you're doing like a Caribbean seasoned chicken, something maybe with a jerk blend on it, like, will be available from memberforgespices.com very shortly. After the initial launch runs, the second cycle will have a jerk seasoning in the mix. But it goes nicely with like a roasted pineapple or, And then, anyway, so for the Mojito cream sauce, you're going to take 2 ounces of white rum, 1 cup of heavy cream, 2 ounces of roux, which would be 1 ounce of fat and 1 ounce of flour blended together to make a paste that you will use to thicken your sauce. You're going to take 1 ounce of fresh mint leaf. You are going to take 2 ounces of lime juice or sour orange juice if you want a little more accurate, but sour orange is a little more hard to come by. Lime juice is much easier to get. 2 tablespoons of cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of oregano. You're in a pan over a heavy bottom pan over medium heat. You will bring your white rum, your heavy cream to a simmer. You will stir in with a whisk your 2 ounces of roux. Or if you don't have the roux pre-made, you can make the roux first by heating your fat, which could be butter, could be oil, it could be baking grease if you wanted a little extra salty kick to it. And then you mix in your 1 ounce of fat, your 1 ounce of flour to give you 2 ounces of roux. This is ounces by weight, not by volume, by the way. And so then you're going to mix those two together and you're going to stir them until they're lightly brown. And then you're going to fold in your white rum and your heavy cream, and you're going to simmer it till it begins to thicken, stirring very frequently because you don't want it to burn because burnt cream sauce tastes like shit. So as you simmer it, you're going to take your 1 ounce of fresh mint leaves and mince them very finely and incorporate them into the sauce. And you're going to let it simmer. As you let it simmer, it's going to infuse the mint into the sauce. It will be delicious. Then after you remove it from the heat, you are going to hit it with your cumin, your oregano. Wait, I'm sorry, I got this backwards. Before you remove it from the heat, you hit it with your cumin and your oregano and allow it to simmer. Then you remove it from the heat. Then you hit it with your 2 ounces of citrus juice immediately before you want to serve it, because you don't want the citrus juice to sit in there too long, because you don't want to curdle it. You just want to make it have that flavor. So anyway, yeah, then you just stir it all together, serve it over chicken or fish. So there you go. Mojito cream sauce. So that's about it. Give it a couple seconds to go through for the lag to get to the chat, and you guys can tell me if there's anything else you want to hear about. And yeah, and otherwise I'm going to put a pin in it so I can get around to editing. Oh yeah, by the way, just to touch back to the new Fed chairman and the Federal Reserve, you know, like I said, I don't think he's going to do dick. I don't think he can do anything. I think it's going to be a fucking joke. I really think like I said, the fact that Powell won't leave and there's no mechanics in place to make him fucking give up the seat is problematic. And as long as he's there, the new guy's not going to be able to get shit done, because he's going to keep saying, well, I'm the sitting chairman and I haven't stepped down, so you're going to do what I say. And it's going to, I think the whole thing is just a fucking dog and pony show. It's not going to do any good for anybody. Okay, Cody wants me to talk about how the anti-data center sentiment is all CCP backed. I don't necessarily actually agree with that sentiment, Cody, because I'm not anti-data center per se. I'm anti where they keep wanting to stick the fucking things. I have a problem with, you know, when they're setting them up in the middle of areas where it's going to impact people directly. When they constantly say, they're going to say, oh, well, you know, we're going to be offsetting the power. We're going to be supplementing it. We'll have generators on site. We'll do this. We'll do that. And then every place I know, anyone who's been anywhere remotely close to one of these fucking things has seen power outages, has seen their rates go up, has seen the grid not be able to handle the fucking demand. And then the less tangible things where I've heard that people are saying there's, you know, low frequency sounds constantly emitting from these buildings, which I don't know how true that is, because I imagine 90% of what's in those buildings is solid state. So I can't imagine there's a ton of actual noise from it. But everything that currently exists, my every problem with the fucking data centers is about location. They're not putting them in good places. They need to put them everywhere they go. They fucking fuck up the power grid. They say, oh, well, we're going to get generators. And okay, great. So the local fuel demand's going to go up. Or we're going to put fucking solar panels around, which is great until it's fucking cloudy. The solar panels are inefficient bullshit. I don't know how many times I've said that. They're fragile. Once they're damaged, they're fucking garbage. They're in a landfill. There's no way to recycle them. They are a huge waste of fucking valuable rare earth minerals. If we could put them in fucking space and somehow send the energy down, they might actually make sense. But when you're putting them in fucking farmland instead of growing food, when you're cutting down forests to put up solar panels, you're a fucking retard. It's like the assholes who want to cut down forests so they can put in fucking carbon capture wells. Are you fucking stupid? You just cut down the nature's carbon capture wells, you fucking dolts. Bunch of fucking mouth-breathing fucking retards. I mean, I hate to sound like a Luddite, but some of this stuff is so fucking stupid just for the sake of fucking doing it. And I agree with Bob. It's aesthetically unpleasing. It's fucking stupid. Put them up. Yeah, Shauna said it, and she's right. You want to put up a solar farm? Put it over fucking parking lots. Then you keep the cars cool and you get the fucking sun, and you're not fucking mowing down fucking farm fields to put them out. Put them on top of parking garages. Put them on top of fucking parking lots. Make them actually fucking dual purpose. If it's so fucking phenomenal, you don't have to destroy nature to put them up. Just put them where there's already fucking spaces where they could fit perfectly well. But oh no, people don't want them there because that's inconvenient. Fucking retards. Hypocritical pieces of shit, a lot of them. I hate them all. These are the same retards who say, buy your meat from the grocery store instead of hunting because that way no animals get hurt. Fucking retards. They all fucking suck. Brain dead liberal fucking clowns. I hate them. They're stupid. They're dumb. I hate them. They smell. They suck. None of them had any real friends as children, because if they had real friends, they would have been mocked into fucking sanity. But no. They're just constantly convinced they're fucking special, and I fucking hate them. Failed fucking humans. Weak fucking seed. Every single one of them born from fucking pre-cum. I hate them all. Well, anyway, so on that very cheerful note, I'm going to put pin in it now and say for now, that's what I had to say.